Elon, I, the Tetragrammaton, the Lord God Most High, I do exercise in thee, and do powerfully command thee, O Spirit. Elon, I, the Tetragrammaton, the Lord God Most High, I do exercise in thee, and do powerfully command.
In the dark shadows, in the white cold, fearlessly we search for knowledge new and old. We drink the strong spirits and read the ancient tomes. The order of the Abracast. We are the brave and the bold. Occult, history, conspiracy, and violence.
Well, what is astrology, anyways? What do we, when we talk about astrology, what are we saying? So, if I go to the Encyclopedia of Occultism by Spence, it's a compendium of information on the occult sciences, occult personalities, psychic science, magic, demonology, spiritualism, mysticism, and metaphysics. It's a huge entry. I'm not going to read it all. I just want to get a taste for it. Astrology is the art of divining the fate or future of persons from the juxtaposition of the sun, moon, and the planets. Judicial astrology foretells the destinies of individuals and nations, while natural astrology predicts changes of weather and the operation of the stars upon natural things. Historically speaking, the Egyptian tradition, we find its invention attributed to our boy Hermes Trismegistus, or the thrice great Hermes, the 3 times great Hermes, or by our other friend Thoth, by whom under different names is represented the various revelations of truth, both theologically and natural. For he is the Mercury of the Romans, the eloquent deliverer of the messages of the gods. The name Ptolemy, the greatest of which astrology can boast, belongs also to Egypt, but comparatively recent period when Imperial Rome flourished. So we have never done an astrology episode before. And I would always when I would talk kind of behind the scenes to listeners or, supporters of the show or something, and they would ask me about it, I would say, well, if the show goes on long enough, I'm going to have to start reading these astrology books. So this is our first little deep dive into the world of astrology. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I'm John Towers, and this is the Abracast. Thank you guys for joining me. This is our first show back from summer vacation. I'm a workaholic, so it was difficult for me to take I'll just say a month and a half long break. But I timed it around the 5th year anniversary of the show because I had so many things going on in my life that I just needed some time to try to get some shit together. I did have a good break, productive break. I got my magic coin done. It's something I've been stressing about how to do for quite a while. I did that while I was on my break. I'll take a couple pictures of it and put it on my Instagram if you guys are interested in seeing it. No one's really seen it yet. It was sort of blessed by my water of the art and charged under a new moon, which I thought was good for the transitionary symbolism that it symbolizes. But another thing that happened while I was on break is I got myself into a spot of potential legal problems over some, we'll just say legal documents. I don't want to get too specific. There was some documentation, some agreements were made, potentially dubiously on my part. And, when it came to light that there might be some repercussions from it, I was telling my wife about it. I was really nervous and bent up about it. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, I got you covered. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, you should never have signed those papers while Mercury was in retrograde. And this light bulb went up over my head, right? And she was like, I got you covered. She ran up to her studio and she got candles, and she was inscribing candles and cutting them and doing like this candle magic and working on her altar and all this stuff. And she explained that it was a procedure to sort of do away with or minimize the impact of something that occurred during Mercury retrograde. So I didn't really get too much into it. I was like, okay, cool, man. Take care of me, babe. You know, thanks a lot. There's a lot of perks that come with being married to a very knowledgeable and wise solitary practitioner, like my wife is. But it got me thinking about Mercury retrograde, right? Because it's literally one of those things. So probably one of the reasons that we haven't done an astrology episode, well, I don't know, because I'm skeptical about a bunch of shit that we talk about, but I'm real skeptical for some of the topics that we talk about on the show. Astrology being, one of the topics just generally that I'm like, I don't know. But when my wife points out the problems that are going on, and she'll be like, we're in retrograde. We're in a Mercury retrograde. I'm like, oh yeah, all right. So it's like phone problems, miscommunication in text messages leading to some, light argumentation, typos in emails that lead to problems, whether it be in your personal life or with the podcast or with not your 9-to-5 job or something like that. And then if you have someone that's constantly going, hey, Mercury is going in retrograde, so watch out what the fuck you do. And then when these things happen, you're like, oh shit, Mercury's in retrograde. So it's one of these things that's kind of lended some credence to the phenomenon, at least to me. So I thought that I would take this opportunity to kind of, let's start talking about astrology and using this Mercury retrograde bit on it, and then we can also track it in real time, right? Without being, like I said, too specific. I don't want to get all involved in what's going on in my personal life, but so some of you out there might not know what a Mercury retrograde is, and some of you I'm sure some of you probably know what a Mercury retrograde is. And don't worry, the whole episode is not going to be about Mercury retrograde. This is just the foot in the door, right? I found this book on my wife's bookshelf. It's called Ruling Planets by Christopher Renstrom. And he talks here about people that are born during the time of a Mercury retrograde. So I thought we could get like a flavor for the Mercury retrograde from the first couple paragraphs of this, right? So he says, he explains, retrograde refers to backwards motion. The planet Mercury does not actually reverse directions. That's just the way it looks to us. It's an optical illusion that occurs periodically from Earth's viewpoint, given the impression of a planet moving backwards against the setting of constellations in the sky. When a planet is in retrograde, its energy becomes opposite of what it is when it is direct. And since Mercury is the planet of thought and communication, that's what gets turned inside out. Mercury is in retrograde, which is 3 times every year. People are plagued with misunderstandings, slips of the tongue, technological glitches ranging from crossed phone lines to incooperative ATM machines. It's not unlike adding up a column of numbers and getting a different answer every time. Something is wrong. But what? And then he goes on here to use some asked episode of American politics to explain or to exemplify Mercury Retrograde, which I am not getting into. And then the rest of it is about people that were born under Mercury Retrograde. So, that's just it. So one of the other things that are like, that make me think, oh shit, maybe there is something to all of this stuff. And this was big. This was big to me. This actually led me to like a little kind of crisis, right? Is another thing that my wife had done for me is she did a natal chart. So what that is you figure out geographical location of when you were born, of where you were born, I should say, a date of when you were born, and the time that you were born. These are all things that you can find on your birth certificate, and you cast them against the planetary movements, and it's so complicated, and how 12 houses, and what's ascending and what's descending, and these different, all this stuff, cusps and all this. But it spit out this document. So it's not like she took like days of her life to do this. There was no way that she could tailor this to what she knows about me, right? So she actually used this website, and it spit out this document that was so on the nose. I freaked out a little bit about it. I had mentioned this once before on the podcast. I was talking to Lisa. I was talking to Lisa from the Immortal Hour podcast, and I was talking to her. We were talking to her, and for whatever reason, I brought this natal chart up. And I mean, this thing was like, it was bananas. There was like 7 or 10 instances where it was like, you're going to be interested and or obsessed with the occult and magic and all this stuff, and it shook me a little bit. I was like, wait, hold on. I was under the assumption that I had free will, but instead we're in this cosmological machine where I'm just playing this part that was spelled out because I was born in Elyria, Ohio, at this date and this time. It was crazy to me. So, hold on. Let me grab my phone. I asked my wife to send me the link to the website that she used. I want you guys to run it. And get back with me and see what you have to say about it. It's astro.cafeastrology.com/natal.php. astro.cafeastrology.com natal.php. I'll put the link in the show notes if you guys want to run this chart and see what, if you were mystified by it like I'm mystified by it. All right. Advanced Astrology for Life by Constance Stellas. Stellas. The signs and their elements. There are 12 zodiacal signs, the astrological. They're in some ages or whatever, sometimes there were 13. There's this my favorite constellation, Ophiuchus, which is the serpent wrestler, the serpent handler, the serpent wrestler, or whatever, was often, or at least occasionally, recognized as the 13th zodiac sign. The astrological year begins with ding, 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 Aries, the ram, and concludes with Pisces, the fish. So if you guys have heard me babbling on about the precession of the equinoxes and all of this stuff, as I have used it as a device in my last graphic novel, The Ages, this will not be new news. It concludes with Pisces, the fish. Each sign, in addition to its own nature, is ruled by a planet, an element, triplicities, and the quadruplicities. The 4 elements are fire, earth, air, water. The triplicities are composed of 3 signs in each element. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius form the fire triplicity. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn form the earth triplicity, while Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius form the air triplicity. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces constitute the water triplicity. Quadruplicities consist of 4 signs in 3 descriptive modes: cardinal, fixed, and immutable. 4 signs in 3 descriptive modes: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So this sounds a little bit like how my tarot cards are designed. Stolen by Pappas and the Tarot of the Bohemians. They have, I used a 4 layer or 4 quadrant sort of thing, and it was, masculine, feminine, neuter, and then the transitionary period, which is where the coin comes into the play for the ceremonial magician out there. The start of the spring, summer, fall, and winter describes the cardinal nature of the signs of Aries, Cancer, and Libra, and Capricorn. The months then, each season is well established, characterized the fixed signs: Taurus, Libra, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Lastly, the month in which the seasons change, characterized by the mutable signs: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. When considering the zodiacal sign, the elements will tell you immediately what language each sign speaks. The fire signs, energetic and inspirational. The earth sign, practical and concrete. The air signs are communicative and intellectual, and the water signs are emotional and sensitive. The quadruplicities tell you how the signs express their basic nature. The cardinal signs initiate activity. They are, after all, the first signs of each season. The fixed signs established and maintain activity. Each season is well established when the fixed signs dominate. The mutable signs change according to what is needed in any endeavor. Mutability and flexibility are their major characteristics. Let's take a brief look at the 12 signs. And I mean brief. I'm going to cut these down, bro. Aries, March 21st to April 21st. Aries is a cardinal fire sign. This is a yang sign, not a gang sign. It's ruled by Mars as part of the body, ruled by Aries. So this is going to talk a lot about this idea that each zodiac sign rules a part of your body, and we're going to talk at length about that's actually going to be the meat of the episode as I see it. But we're already almost 20 minutes into this thing, so it might fall apart on me. So Aries rules the face and the head. Frequently, I don't like that they call them Aryans. That's not with an I and not a Y. The folks of Aries have pronounced brows that resemble their symbol, and the ram. Aries loves to butt heads with life, assert their individuality, and campaign for justice and social causes. And the Aries personality can provide the spark for launching any project into activity. That is true. They have energy to burn and frequently are leaders. That is also true. It is usually a good idea for Aries to have a dynamic sport or physical activity to help them moderate their energy, like professional wrestling. In their zeal for activity, Aries can launch too many projects and fail to complete them. That can be true. There's energy. When their energy is harnessed, they can be pioneers and inspirational leaders. That is also true. I keep saying Taurus, not the car. I had a Taurus once. It was painted with primer gray with a paint roller. It was one of the most unique cars that I ever had. I bought it, and then it was a stick shift, so I had to learn how to drive a stick shift. I didn't know. I'm a city boy. The second sign of the zodiac is the fixed earth sign. The sign is a yin, and it is ruled by Venus in the body. Taurus rules the throat, neck, and ears. A Taurus symbol is the bull. Taurus people are usually placid and content, but when they are aroused, their tempers can blow the roof off. Any outburst may not happen often, but when it does, it is a doozy. Taurus is practical and concerned with security and accumulating possessions. Building projects concretely is Taurus's greatest talent. Taurus is a sensual sign and has an exquisite sense of touch and smell. They can be set in their ways and bogged down in security needs. Keeping the body flexible is one way for Taurus to avoid mental and physical rigidity. Gemini, May 21st to June 21st. The third sign of the zodiac is mutable air and a yang in nature. Although some would describe Gemini as androgynous, ruled by Mercury, it is a symbol of the twins, Castor and Pollux. In the ages, it was a symbol of Cain and Abel, the two brothers. The hallmarks of the Gemini personality are mental agility and the ability to communicate. Geminis can investigate and research a variety of subjects at once. To do is their motto. And they are not happy with any kind of routine work, love, or play. The lungs, the respiratory system, and the hands are the body parts ruled by Gemini. Cancer, June 21st to July 21st. So we're in... I don't know. Cancer is a cardinal water sign, the fourth sign of the zodiac. It's a yin sign. It's ruled by the moon. Her personality and feelings shift with the moon's motion through the signs. Cancer is thin-skinned and feels everything keenly. There is no such thing as an impersonal remark or relationship. Cancerians' feelings can be overwhelming, and they must cultivate objectivity. Cancer symbol is the crab who carries the protective shell or home on its back. The crab can also walk back and forth towards its destination. Cancer moves forward and then backward, and then may feel secure enough to proceed towards her goal. The breasts and the stomach are her area of the body ruled by Cancer. Both male and female Cancerians are nurturing and maternal. Cancerians can fiercely defend home and country, and they love to be surrounded by family. Leo, July 22nd through August 22nd. Leo is a fixed fire sign, the fifth sign of the zodiac. He is ruled by the sun and yang. The heart and the spine are parts of the body ruled by Leo. Leo is a symbol of a lion, king of the jungle. When a Leo feels that he has enough attention, there is no sign more generously hearted. Leo always commands attention and has abundant energy. He is the most vital of the zodiac, where Cancer represents the maternal instinct. Leo represents the paternal instinct. He's the leader of the household, spreading joy and protection to those under his care. His courage in defense of his kingdom is formidable. When a Leo feels like he is not the center of attention, his hidden side appears as insecurity. If his immature ego drives his personality, there are difficulties. When Leo can cooperate and share his enthusiasm and fire with others, he shines. So here's my dad's sign. And he'll let you know all the time. Whenever we talk and there's something that happens, we talk about a celebrity or something that's a Virgo, he'll go, Virgo. He's also Maoist, communist. So it's like, we can't be farther apart. So let's listen to how the Virgo boils down. Virgo is a mutable earth sign. She is yin in the 6th sign of the zodiac. Virgo is the 2nd sign ruled by Mercury. Gemini, an air sign, represents Mercury's rapid ability to accumulate knowledge. Virgo represents an earthly dimension of Mercury's ability to analyze and categorize knowledge in the body. Virgo represents the intestines and all assimilative processes. Virgo usually has a very sensitive physical system. If Virgo becomes ill, it is sometimes from nervous tension. My dad does repress stress a lot. A Virgo symbol is the maiden gathering the harvest. She is pure. And Virgo's quest for perfection through life. The important word is quest. If Virgo reaches perfection, there is nothing left to do. The quest keeps Virgo occupied and relieved the burden of self-criticism. Virgo also likes to serve and be helpful. They enjoy working and making life projects in their minds tidy. There are some disorganized Virgos, but they almost always have an innate sense of order. My dad, this is him. Like, he needs everything just fucking so. Even if it's indiscernible to others, Virgo's greatest challenge is to allow creativity and happiness to flow without constant comment and negative criticism. That last sentence pretty much sums it up. You gotta let the happiness flow without constant comment or negative criticism. Libra, September 21 to October 21. Libra is a cardinal air sign, the 7th sign of the zodiac. It is a yang. Libra is the 2nd sign to be ruled by Venus. Venus is Taurus's ruler, described the emphasis, the earthly, sensual side of pleasure and aesthetics. In Libra, Venus emphasizes pleasure and relationships and communication. Venus, the Libra's ruler, denotes love, romance, and marriage. In the body, Libra rules the kidneys and the adrenal glands. The first 6 signs of the zodiac represent development of personality. When we reach Libra, the sign of relationships, we're at a pivotal point between the individual and the individual in relationship with others. It is interesting that Libra's symbol is the scales, is the only inanimate symbol of the zodiac. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. There is an absolute quality to many Libras as they constantly weigh the justice or rightness of their thoughts or feelings. This constant need to balance life frequently means the Librarian goes from one extreme to another. It's all in search of harmony and balance. The Libra-ish person seeks to please others and instinctively knows what is required in a social situation. All right, I'm skipping forward. Scorpio. This, for some reason, I just had a flashback from the 80s General Hospital. There was a character called Scorpio who had like a secret den in his house because he was a spy. He was spying on the hospital or something. And then there was like a dinosaur island, but we never got to see the dinosaurs. I wonder if anyone's written anything about that. What a weird thing. This was after Luke raped Laura. Yes, I said it. He raped Laura. Everyone in the podcast just changed. Like, what is this fucking guy talking about? Okay, Scorpio, October 21st to November 21st. Scorpio is a fixed water sign. The sign is yin, the 8th sign of the zodiac until the discovery of Pluto in 1930. Mars was the sole ruler of Scorpio Since then, Pluto has joined Mars in ruling Scorpio. In the body, Scorpio rules the sexual organs and all eliminative functions. Scorpio is the strongest sign of the zodiac because of the amount of power they can harness and creativity expressed through creation. The choice to use their creativity for good or for ill is a challenge for most Scorpios. The sign has 3 symbols which describe Scorpios at different levels of development: the scorpion, the eagle, and the phoenix. The scorpion would rather sting himself to death than to forego the pleasure of the sting. This is unavoidable Scorpio, who can be stuck in a cycle of self-destructiveness. The eagle represents the soaring spirit who travels close to the sun and is a fierce hunter. These Scorpios are learning to use their powers creatively without controlling people. Lastly, the phoenix, we all know this, right? Recreates himself out of his own ashes. The phoenix characterizes Scorpio's interest in life transforming experiences that moves the soul forward. Scorpio has the ability to transform the darkness into their own souls into light and to help others do the same. Okay, this is shadow work. We're talking about alchemy here. Sagittarius, November 21st to December 21st. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. This is the 9th sign of the zodiac. It's a yang. It's ruled by Jupiter. The areas of the body ruled by Sagittarius are the hips and the thighs. The symbol of the centaur. Half human and half horse, who, with his bow, aims his arrow high into the world of ideas. There are 2 types of Sagittarian personalities. The first is extroverted, happy-go-lucky gambler who can be superficial, but charmingly cheerful and engaging. These people need space to roam and cannot be fenced in. The second type begins to emerge as a midwife, however. The Sagittarians begin to be interested in philosophy, to consider the big questions of life. Sagittarians rarely brood and enjoy inquiring about the roots of spiritual development. As the last sign in the fire triplicity, Sagittarius has the characteristics of energy and enthusiasm of all the fire signs. Here, the energy is concentrated and geared towards understanding, wisdom, and personal values. The greatest challenge for Sagittarians is to moderate their bluntness and to take other people's feelings into consideration. So, reading this, I get Han Solo was a Sagittarius. Okay. Capricorn, December 21st to January 21st. Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign ruled by the planet Saturn. It's a yin sign, the 10th sign of the zodiac. The knees and the entire skeletal structure are under the Capricorn's domain. In Roman mythology, Saturn, or the Greek god Kronos, fled Mount Olympus and went to Italy, where his rule initiated a golden age. At a time when people lived in perfect harmony at the Roman feast of Saturnalia, held every winter, no war could be declared. Slaves and masters ate at the same table, and people gave each other gifts. This is a simplification of the Roman Saturnalia, by the way. They're leaving a lot of weird stuff out. The symbol for Capricorn is a goat traveling sure-footed up a mountain. The way can be rocky and hard, but Capricorns will get to where they are going. Capricorn enjoys the maturity and knowledge that comes with age and development, and Capricorn always sets goals, and as an earth sign, Capricorn is concerned with creating concrete structure in the world. As the final earth sign in the earth's triplicity, Capricorn's aspirations can be spiritual in nature. Success in the world is not only to enjoy the fruits of success, but also to grow in spiritual and material power. Capricorn's greatest challenge is to flow with life rather than to worry obsessively. Aquarius. January 22nd to February 21st. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. He is the 11th sign of the zodiac and yang in nature. In the body, Aquarius rules the ankles, circulation, and the nervous system. The sign has 2 rulers. It's ancient times, his ruler was Saturn. However, since the discovery of Uranus, many Aquarians exhibit traits more consistent with the unexpected energy of Uranus. If you examine the chart, you will see whether the individual leans towards a more conservative status quo personality characterized by Saturn, or the surprising, unpredictable personality of Uranus. Aquarius' symbol is a woman pouring water from a large vase. This is frequently confusing because students think Aquarius' element is water. Remember, Aquarius is an air sign, the sign of mental pioneering, not of emotion. Because the water of the woman pours represents knowledge of humanity. Aquarius, the sign of rugged individualism and even eccentricity, uses his knowledge to benefit society at large. He is the inventor who serves the collective, lest ye conclude that Aquarius is self-sacrificing. Remember that as a fixed sign, Aquarius is interested in power. Aquarius might tell you to do something for the good of humanity, but they want it done in any case. The challenge is to recognize that many people operate emotionally rather than reasonably. So the way that I always remember that Aquarius is an air sign rather than a water sign, because it is confusing, especially when you first start working on these kind of things. And I'm in no way trying to start some kind of class or school. Like, that is not me. You see a lot of that stuff nowadays. Podcasters and stuff trying to put classes together on this kind of business. And I mean, I'm just presenting the information in books. Like, this is where you should go. Find the oldest fucking books possible and read those. So I guess I'm caving in to defend occult books, but this is it. I'm not trying to teach anybody anything out of my own brain. I'm just presenting the knowledge in these books. Anyhow, when I was working on my tarot cards, right, and I used a lot of the elements for the different cards and all that stuff, and I equate Aquarius with the Temperance card, and it's my Aquarius, or my Temperance card is the Archangel Gabriel, and she/it, whatever, is pouring water from one vessel to another. And even though she's standing with one foot in water, it's not necessarily a water sign, because the water is passing through the air. It's passing through the void. Anyhow, whatever. Here's the last one. Pisces. February 21st to March 21st. Pisces is a mutable water sign. She is yin, and the 12th and final sign of the zodiac, as Aries represents the spark that launches a soul into matter. Pisces represents the completion of the journey. Pisces describes the return of the personality to the waters of unconsciousness. That's so cool. The 2 fish are tied together, one above the water, participating in life, and the other hidden under the sea. The Piscean personality may be unfathomable to others, even to themselves, but as such are the depths of their imagination, creativity, dreams, feeling the pain of the world can lead tendency towards escapism, and all Pisces needs to spend time in retreat to regenerate themselves. Before the discovery of Neptune, Jupiter ruled Pisces, and now we associate Pisces with Neptune, and the gaseous swirl of Neptune finds the sensitive, sometimes dreamy nature of the Piscean. Pisces rules the feet. They must keep their feet on the ground if they are to make their dreams come true. Physically sensitive Pisceans are usually musical and have compassion for all creatures. A bathtub, jacuzzi, or a mental health day at the spa bed are the best ways for a Piscean to maintain vitality. All right, so we're going to change books. We're going to move over to talk about what they call the solar man, or how these zodiacal signs control or influence the different parts of the body. So the book we're going to is like It's like it's sort of where the Western mystery tradition sort of becomes codified. It's this book. It's called The 3 Books of Occult Philosophy or Magic by Agrippa. And it's funny because magicians usually they make the divisions very clear. This one is a little bit different. It's the 3 books, and the first book deals with the elementary, so the air, water, ground, earth, fire sort of aspect to magic. The second is celestial, doing with astrology and the stars and the signs and all that stuff. And then the intellectual is the third book, which is about ceremonial magic. It's about the Goetia and so forth. So we are honing in like a laser on the second book, and we're going to be talking about how did I just put it? Celestial. We're going to be talking about the celestial. We'll talk about we're going to be explaining the actually I'll just get into it, right? This is chapter 22 of the 3 books of occult philosophy or magic. It's also called Philosophy of Natural Magic. Anyhow, chapter 22, how inferior things are subjected to superior bodies, and how bodies and actions of the dispositions of men are ascribed to the stars and the signs. It is manifest that all things inferior are subject to the superior, as above, so below, is another way to say this, which is, one of the great tenets of magic, Western tradition. And the West, like Jim Morrison would say, the West is the best. The West is the best. And after a manner, they are one in the other. The inferiors are superior and the superiors are inferior. So in the heavens, there are things terrestrial, but as in their cause and in a celestial manner. And in the earth, they are things celestial, but after a terrestrial manner, as in an effect. So we say that there be here certain things that are solarly, and certain which are lunarly, in which the sun and the moon make strong impressions on their virtues, whence it is that these kind of things receive more operation and properties like to those of the stars and the signs which they are under. So we know that solarly things respect the heart and the head, by reason that is Leo in the house of the sun, and Aries, the exaltation of the sun. So things under Mars are good for the head and the secrets by reason of Aries and Scorpio. Hence, they whose senses fail and heads ache by the reasons of drunkenness find cold water and vinegar good to bathe the head and secrets. But in reference to these, it is necessary to know how a man's body is distributed to the planets and the signs. Know, therefore, that according to the doctrine of the Arabians, the sun rules over the brain, heart, the thigh, the marrow, the right eye, the spirit, also the tongue, the mouth, and the rest of the organs of the senses, as well as internal and external. Also the hands, the feet, the legs, the nerves, the power of imagination. That Mercury rules over the spleen, the stomach, the bladder, the womb, the right ear. Also the faculty of the common sense that Saturn rules over the liver. I gotta toast to Saturn. Blesseth my liver. And the fleshly part of the stomach. And Jupiter rules over the abdomen, the navel, whence it is written by the ancients that the effigy of a navel was laid up in the temple of Jupiter Hammon. Also some attribute to him the rib, the breast, the bowels, blood, arms, the right hand, the left ear, the powers natural. And some set Mars over the blood, the veins, the kidney, the bag of the gall, the buttocks, the back, motion of the sperm, and the irascible power. Again, they set Venus over the kidneys, the secrets of the womb, the seed, and the conspicuous power, as also the flesh, fat, belly, breast, navel, and the venereal parts, and such as serve thereto, also the os saculum, the backbone, and the loins, and also the head and the mouth, from which they give kisses as tokens of love. Now the moon, although she may challenge the whole body and every member thereof according to the variety of the sun, yet more particularly they ascribe to her the brain, the lungs, the marrow of the backbone, the stomach, the menstrual, and the excretory parts, and the left eye, and also the power of increasing. But Hermes saith that there are 7 holes in the head of an animal distributed to the 7 planets. The right ear to Saturn, the left to Jupiter, the right nostril to Mars, the left to Venus, the right eye to the Sun, the left to the Moon, and the mouth to Mercury. The several signs also of the zodiac take care of their members. So Aries governs the head and the face, and Taurus the neck, Gemini the arms and the shoulders, and Cancer the breast, the lungs, stomach, and the arms, and Leo the heart, stomach, liver, and back. Virgo the bowels and the bottom of the stomach, Libra the kidneys, thighs, and the buttocks, Scorpius the secrets, Sagittarius the thighs and the groin, Capricornius the knees, Aquarius the legs and the shins, Pisces the feet. And as the triplicities of the signs answer one another and agree in celestials, they agree in the members, which is sufficiently manifested by the experience, because the coldness of the feet and the belly and the breasts are affected, which members answer the same triplicity, whence it is, if a medicine be applied to the one, it helps the other. As by the warming of the feet and the pain of the belly seetheth. Remember, therefore, this order. Know that the things which are under any one of the planets have a certain particular aspect or inclination to whose members that are attributed to the planet, and especially to the houses and exaltations thereof. For the rest of the dignities, as those triplicities are marks in the face on the little account of this. Upon this account, therefore, peony, balm, clove, gilly, flowers, citron, peel, sweet marjoram, wool, black betty, mamma cinnamon, saffron, lingam, aloes, frankincense, amber, musk, and myrrh help the head, the heart, and the reason of the sun in Aries and Leo. So doth a ribwort, an herb of Mars, help the head and the secrets by reason of Aries and Scorpio. And so the rest, also all the things under Saturn conduces sadness and a melancholy, under Jupiter, mirth and honor, and under Mars to boldness, contention, and anger. And those under the Sun to glory, victory, and courage. Those under Venus to love and concupiscence. So I know concubine is from Latin, meaning to lay with. So I'm guessing this just means fucking. Let's do it again. Also, things under Saturn can do sadness and melancholy. Those under Jupiter to mirth and honor. Those under Mars, boldness, contention, and anger. Those under the Sun to glory, victory, and courage. Those under Venus to love, lust, and fucking. Those under Mercury to eloquence. Those under the Moon to a common life. Also, all these actions and dispositions of men are distributed according to the planets, for Saturn governs old men, monks, melancholy men, the hidden treasures, and those things which are obtained with long journey and difficulty. But Jupiter governs those that are religious, prelates, kings, and dukes, and such kind of gains that are not got lawfully. Mars rules over barbers, chirurgeons, physicians, sergeants, butchers, and executioners. All that make fire, bakers, and soldiers, who are everywhere called martial men. Also, do the other stars signify their office as they are described in the books of astrologers. So I never put that together, that martial means ruled by Mars, like martial arts. That's interesting, right? Maybe we'll get more into that next time. We'll talk about astrology. So, what's to say? I want you guys to run that your birth charts and report back to me if you want. I'll take a couple of pictures of my newly minted coin of the art. So the coin of the art, there's been a lot of shit. So when I don't want to get into it too much. So when I was a kid, my grandfather we would melt lead and build these soldiers, pour them into this mold and build a horse out of like this melted lead, and like soldiers out of melted lead, or knights or whatever. And then we'd paint them, and he had them like all over like his work area or whatever. Anyhow, as I matured and certain problems became obvious with my grandfather, like cataclysmically obvious to me, as I was getting older. The problem was that he was like the only positive male role model I had for the majority of my life, and it turns out that it was all just bullshit, and the guy was like weird, fucking evil, creepy, fucking drunk. Anyhow, so I've been spending a lot of time, and I kind of actually highlighted it when I was on vacation. I did the Water of the Art episode, and I did the Wand of the Art episode. I did not do an episode for the Vessel of the Art. And if you're familiar with my tarot cards episodes or my tarot card deck or whatever, like you could see where it's going, wand, then cup, and then I didn't do an episode about the swords either or whatever, but the transitionary spot was held by this idea of a coin, and I built the whole. It wasn't pentangles or whatever. It was a coin. It was holding the spot for the symbol of the transition. And I didn't know what I was going to do for it. And like, I was lamenting about it to some folks who are interested in this kind of thing. And they're like, well, what you should do probably is get like a precious stone or a gem and use that, because I mean, how are you going to forge a coin? Like, how are you going to make a coin? So I'm sure you can kind of already see where I'm going. My wife was out of town for a week, and the trip was actually relevant to like a giant part of my childhood that links in with my grandfather. I didn't want to, like I said, I'm trying to not get into the weeds or get emotional about this, but the reason she was away for a week had integral importance to this relationship, this problem I was having dealing with my realization of my granddad and all of this other kind of stuff. So I decided that while she was away, what I was going to do is I was going to start a giant fucking fire. And I started a giant fucking fire, and I smelted down all of these. When the old man passed away, unbeknownst to me, I got a box sent to me. I didn't want any of his bullshit. I didn't want any of it. But I got a box that had like some army patches that he collected. He was a combat engineer in World War II. Is one of the reasons that I became a combat engineer when I went in, because I was still kind of like deifying him, right? I was still like looking up to him. Anyhow, I built this giant fire in the backyard. And I smelted these. Another thing that came in the boxes with the army patches were like these soldiers and these horses that we had built and had painted and all this stuff. And so I smelted all of them down, and I reclaimed this little cast iron. I don't know what a technical term of it is. I use it as a cauldron, like during the Water of the Art. And the Wand of the Art operations and stuff, I use this to burn the incense, this thing to burn the incense in. Anyhow, I used it to smelt down these these horses and these soldiers, and I cast them into these. I got two of them. I gave one of them to my wife that I didn't etch into. So I got these two coins, and then one of them I took and I etched some, magic into or whatever, and I kind of blessed it with, my Water of the Art. I still had a little bit left and left it to charge under the last new moon. So I have it's fucking heavy. You hear it? So I have that, and we talked about the sun and the moon, and I was talking earlier about the tarot cards and the transitionary or the transitory spot held by this quadrant model of the tarot cards, or in the triplicities and the quadruplicities of these astrological symbols and signs. And I just thought it fit. So I wanted to kind of just circle back around and kind of fit this story about this coin, into the end of this episode, So with that, I guess I'll wrap up. I'll put a link to that natal chart website in the thing. I want you guys to do it, and reach out to me. Let me know if it's spot on, like mine was. Let me know what your thoughts or your feelings about it are. If you have any good stories about Mercury Retrograde, drop me a line and let me know. I'll put a couple pictures of the coin on Instagram if you want to check it out. And also, I did a Solar Man t-shirt. There'll be a Solar Man t-shirt, and it's not lifted off of Agrippa's 3 books of the occult philosophy and magic. It's actually an illustration that I lifted out of Waite's the Book of Ceremonial Magic, but it's great because they both link up, so I think it'd be interesting. I'm going to go ahead and publish the shirt tonight, so you can go look at it. So even if you just want to get an idea of what the fuck I'm talking about the different zodiac signs superimposed on these on your body, and what is ruling or influencing what. Like, that'll be a good, graphic. Maybe I'll post it up on Instagram too. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll post it up on Instagram too. So look, I'm John. This has been the Abracast. Thank you guys. And, yeah, I'll see you next week. I hope you guys enjoyed vacation. We're back to it.
You can find Stigmata Studios, graphic, novels, and comic books. Take control of your destiny. Understand your past, put your present in context, and know your future with a twist. Check out the designs and watch the videos about the Abracast tarot card deck. Your body is your temple, so let's make sure you got a badass t-shirt on it. Variety of cool occult themed t-shirts and other merch like stickers, wall art, mugs, and more. Welcome to the Red Archive. Get access to over 50 hours of archived episodes, more bonus audio, additional exclusive content. All this for only $1 a month. Are you interested in the occult, history, conspiracy, and violence? Learn more at Abracast.com. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you enjoyed the show. Please send an email or find us on social media and let us know what you think about the show. We would appreciate it if you would give us a 5-star rate and review wherever you find your favorite podcasts.